Johnny Murray here, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 2024 and giving you my personal take on what are the top 5 best games of 2024 so far. There's been a lot of releases this year, a lot that are critically acclaimed, beloved by fans, that have been super successful, and I think that this year has been very, very good in terms of releases so far. Not in terms of the industry side of things, but that's for another video. But today, we're going to be looking at the best games because the best thing about our industry is we get to play the games we love, and what's better than talking about the games we love? So here are 5 games that I just absolutely loved and that I think are the absolute standouts of the year so far. So with that being said, if you guys enjoy gaming videos, make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you comment what are some of your favorite games of the year so far. Like, share with your friends because we post videos consistently every single week. At least I'm trying to. But anyway, let's get into it, starting with number 5. So kicking it off, I mean, I feel like there's no way this game isn't on anybody's top 5 as of right now. Now, the problem with this game is, which is why it's in number 5, is just personally I have enjoyed the first one more than Rebirth at the time of playing this. Now, I haven't completely finished Rebirth myself, so also take that into account. Again, these are my personal rankings, but nonetheless, FF7 Rebirth is another fantastic entry in the Final Fantasy franchise, and it is just as good, if not better, in so many aspects than the first game. Its combat is way more developed. There's so many more systems. It is so polished. It is really just incredible seeing what FF7 Rebirth has been able to do, considering that people thought the remake was just insane, and they've somehow topped it by so much. Now, the only thing for me is I've personally enjoyed the story of the first one more than this one. I get it's the same story, but for me, it's just the segments that I've played through so far in the time period that I've played it. I've personally preferred the first one, but that takes nothing away from this one. If anything, Rebirth is just behind it. If there's really not even a downplay on this one. If anything, it just boost up the other one, because this game really is fantastic. It just delivers you so many lovable characters, delivers you so many iconic characters, great moments. There have been so many moments that I feel like will never leave my brain because of this game. The music is just phenomenal. Like I said, the story is also phenomenal. This game really just hits every single note that you want out of an RPG, and honestly just out of a video game in general. This is one of the best video games to release this generation. And yeah, my personal opinion should not hinder your guys' experience at all. I personally believe you will believe this game to be one of the best games of the generation if you give it a try, because it is just that phenomenal. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth easily takes the number 5 spot on my list in 2024. Coming in 4th place is a game I would have never expected to make this top 5 list. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Helldivers 2. First, I have a few bullet points here. First one is, where the heck did this game come from? Second of all, why the heck is this game so good? And third of all, have you joined in fighting? Because you need to if you have not. Because this game is just so stinking fun. Ladies and gentlemen, Helldivers 2 was kind of a complete surprise out of nowhere. Leading up to this game, the marketing and everything was kind of just what you'd expect out of a game. This is a Sony published game, but it is not a first-party game. It's basically like a second-party game. And what this game is it is a co-op, massively online multiplayer shooter game where you have to fight these robots or bugs, depending on what you want to choose. And you basically have to join together with players around the entire world to pretty much defeat the entire faction. And everybody can pitch in. You don't need friends. However, it is very much recommended to have friends to play this game. But this game is just absolute fun. It's just using explosives, guns, movement to just have an absolute blast. Have so many fun, hilarious moments. I can't tell you how many times in the first hour of playing this game I was just dying laughing because of things that were happening to me and my friend. It was just absolutely incredible. And the best thing is, nobody saw this game coming. Everybody doubted it, and it just blew everybody away. It's a $40 game, cheaper than most these days, and it just came out of nowhere. It was the biggest surprise of the year so far to me. I understand Power Worlds was also a huge surprise, but if I had to recommend one game to play, this is the one I would recommend to play this year because it is just fun. If you want a game to just sit down and have mindless fun, this is the game. Helldivers 2 takes the number 4 spot in 2024. Now, this game I fully expected to be amazing, and not only was it amazing, it exceeded all my expectations. Tekken 8 is easily the best fighting game to release this generation so far, in my opinion, and it is just so good. From the single-player story that the game offers, it easily beats the other fighting game single players. And here, I'm not going to sit here and compare all the fighting games. Tekken is really its own thing. The other fighting games are also its own thing. But I think Tekken just delivers overall the best experience you can get out of a fighting game this generation so far, especially this year. And it just delivers characters that all feel special in their own right. It delivers music and visuals that are just stunning and beautiful all the way through all the movesets, through the gameplay. You just feel awesome when playing this game, and it just looks awesome when playing this game. And add that up with, like I said, great characters, a great single-player content, great multiplayer content. This game really does deliver on what it was set out to do and be a fantastic fighting game, because I do think this should be a new standard for fighting games moving forward, because it is just that good. I feel like fighting games recently have been taking some approaches that haven't exactly been met with an over necessarily amount of great reviews, but this one did everything right, and I think that's something to take away. Is Tekken 7 was like almost I want to say like 8 years ago, maybe? I don't even know when Tekken 7 came out. It was so long ago, and after this long, a new entry came out, and it is debatably the best in the franchise. It is just incredible. So Tekken 8 easily coming in at number 3. So this next game, I actually just beat, pretty much like the day of, and I absolutely am in love with this game. Hades 2 is the game, and what's really interesting, and which happens a lot with me, is I actually was a part of the boat that I personally thought Hades 1 was slightly overrated. Not to the point where I thought it wasn't a masterpiece, because granted, my score of the first one was 10 out of 10, masterpiece. It's a great game. But there were people saying it's one of the best indie games of all time, which it's up there. I don't think it is. People were saying it's like better than like so many things, and while I think it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, I don't think it was one of the best games of all time, but it was still a really, really great game. Hades 2 gets announced. I'm absolutely thrilled because I absolutely love the first one. And I'm happy to say now, after playing Hades 2, after they basically took the first one, doubled all the systems, doubled the amount of addiction that you can have in the game, doubled the amount of beautiful art style, great music. They pretty much took Hades 1 and just said, let's just make it better. And that is exactly what they did with Hades 2. And I can now say, I no longer can accept anybody saying that Hades is overrated, even myself, because this is one of the best games of all time. This is one of the best games of all time, and this is one of the best indie games of all time, if not the best indie game of all time. It is just masterfully crafted with the gameplay, with its enemies, with the way you progress, with the way you unlock things. Everything you do in the game feels like it matters, and that is something that a lot of games struggle to do. Every second I played this game, I felt like I was progressing. I was making a difference in this game, and that just goes to show you how truly great they nailed this game, because they took everything in the first one and just basically perfected it. This is a game where I can almost never find anything to critique about. I don't know what to critique. If you told me to critique something right now, I would have to take like a 30-minute break session to figure that out because it is so good. Hades 2, it's in early access only on Steam right now, which is a bummer, but the fact that it's only in early access also shows you how great this game is. The potential for this to be one of the best games of all time is very likely. I am super excited to see where this game goes, and I can't believe it. I absolutely loved this game. Hades 2 takes the runner-up spot. If this game takes the runner-up spot, you're probably wondering what the heck comes in at number 1. Well, you're about to find out. Coming in first place is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now, while I do not think this game is particularly better than Hades 2, I do prefer this game, and it is my favorite game to come out of this year. And while this is my ranking, that is why it comes in at number 1. For one, this is my first entry into the Prince of Persia franchise, and also Metroidvanias are one of my favorite genres. So for me, this was just a really, really special moment because this was the first game of the year that I played, and it just was phenomenal. I cannot tell you how much I love the game. It probably has my favorite Metroidvania combat ever, which is saying a lot because there's games like Metroid Dread, there are games like Will-O-the-Wisp, like Hollow Knight. So for it to have the best combat is really saying something. It has one of my favorite art styles, because they do this crazy like anime stuff in this game, and it just seems out of this world, and it is out of this world because it is so crazy what they do. Like, you can see it on the screen right here. There is some crazy effects happening, and it just works. It has amazing puzzles, it has amazing platforming, has incredible boss fights, it has everything you want out of a Metroidvania game. The reason I am putting this number 1 is because while Hades 2 is obviously going to be a much loved game, I do have a feeling that this game is going to be overlooked because it probably is a little more niche, because Prince of Persia historically hasn't been the highest selling or highest praised franchise, but it has been an amazing franchise. And for them to switch genres with the franchise and deliver a whole new experience after so many years, I think they absolutely nailed it, and they made me fall in love with the franchise. And I just think this game delivers on everything that it was set out to do. This game made me love Ubisoft way more, and it really set the tone for what the year was going to offer. Like I said, I do think Hades 2 is the better game. If you wanted to put Hades 2 in 1 and Prince of Persia in 2, I completely understand. I even thought about doing that. But to me, if I had to go off of my top 50 games of all time, Prince of Persia is going to rank higher than Hades 2 at the end of the day. And therefore, I am putting this at number 1 because I love this game. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown comes in at number 1. And those are our top 5 best games of 2024 so far. And that's crazy, because that's just so far. There have been so many games already that I would put in my top 50 games of all time this year. I think there are probably like maybe 3 games already this year that I would say are in my top 50 of all time. There might even be more. I might be missing some. And that says a lot, because we're only halfway through May, not even. And we've been given so many great games. Now, unfortunately, our industry is not doing so hot. It is in a very unhealthy spot. But let's all do ourselves a favor and just enjoy the thing we love sometimes. And that's just play games, man. And some of these games that have come out this year have just been amazing. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely leave a like, leave a comment section down below. Like I said, what are some of your favorite games of the year so far? Please subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate everything, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.